it's time for another budget update. I'm Stephanie and my husband Mike is here with me. We're going to go through our real family budget in YNAB. That's YNAB. That's the software we use to do our budget. We've been sharing our real numbers budget for years. We do it to help people see what a real budget looks like. Sometimes budgeting is kind of taboo and people don't talk about it. We budget on last month's income, so all the money that we spent in February was money that we earned in January. So I'll go through and show you what we spent in February, and then at the end I'll show you what we earned in February, and that money that we earned in February we'll be spending in March. Okay, we'll jump right in here. Our first category is giving. We pay a 10% tithe on the money that we earned in January. So this is $1,192. And then a fast offering, that's another donation we make through our church to help the poor in our area.
All right, getting down to our monthly bills. Monthly bills aren't that exciting, but we have to pay them every month anyway. So mortgage, $23.69 is our monthly mortgage. That's just the standard payment. At the bottom, we talk about how much extra we're putting toward the principal, but this is just the standard mortgage payment. It includes the homeowner's insurance and the property taxes escrowed in there. Car insurance, $81.46. So we actually decided to reinsure and re-register our second car so that we have two. This is a sort of a prorated amount, so it might be a little bit more next month once we have both cars on there for 2 full months. Electricity, $350. That's just a little over our average because it's been cold here, and the renter in the apartment has been using the heater probably. We have the internet, that's $70 a month, and that's always $70 a month. Water, we put $80 in, and we have in that account right now $114. So we pay that every other month. We're not sure what the actual bill would be, but that might cover it right there, that $114. So we'll see next month how much we need to put in there to finish up for the rest of the bill. Our trash bill is also every other month. We put $40 in and then paid the bill for $80, and so we've got nothing in there in that account. Our cell phones, this is 2 cell phones, so Stephanie and I each have a phone through Visible, which is a Verizon subsidiary. So Verizon is the only network that actually has a signal at our house, and we're at our house pretty much all the time. So we have 2 phones. It's $25 a month. If you look at the Visible website, it shows that it's $40 a month at visible.com, but there's a deal where you can get into a group with other people who have the same carrier, and it's kind of like the old family plan idea, but you don't have to be related or even know the people you're signing up with. So that brings it down to $25 a month. Maybe we'll do a video that shows how that works, because a lot of people have asked about that. Piano is $120. That's for lessons for our oldest, who's gone kind of beyond learning with mom to learning with an external teacher. Orthodontist, we will pay this through the end of this year pretty much?
Yeah, it was in the fall that she got one. So
Okay, so for another 6 or 7 months, and then we'll be on with braces for a while. Hopefully forever. Maybe the other kids won't need braces.
no, we've got others that will.
And then disability insurance, that's finally to cover my income should I be unable to work. As an attorney, this covers about 2/3 of the income that I'm bringing in right now. We know that our income potential is really one of our greatest financial assets. We want to make sure that's protected.
Okay, jumping into everyday expenses. Food, this is our grocery budget. We aim to spend $500 a month for our family of 8. And
I almost nailed it.
This month we're at $503. So that's great. We'll be opening the Grocery Budget Hero course here pretty soon. That's the course where I talk all about how we keep our family's grocery budget so low and how you can do it too. If you're interested in getting on the waiting list for the course, I'll leave a link down below in the description. Okay, household miscellaneous. We spent $185. This included a new car seat. This will be probably our last car seat that we'll ever buy. It's for our 1-year-old. Of course, this includes normal household toiletries, things like that. We also had, it was the annual, what was that?
It's the annual subscription for our computer backup software.
Yeah, that.
Can do this month.
Okay. Fuel, this is gas for the cars, $100, $101, so that's great. Okay, clothing, we spent $5. We had a little bit of money in there from last month, so we spent a total of $30 on clothing in February. Animals, okay, this is an expensive category. Not only did we buy food for the chickens and dogs and cats, but we also had to get a dog license, and we also did some dog... What are
Rabies
those?
and heartworm.
Yeah, dog shots. So $565 on pets.
That's the most
this
we've ever
month.
spent on
That
animals.
is definitely the most we've ever spent. Okay, nothing on kids' activities or school. Allowances, we spend $70. It's approximately $70. That's how much cash I take out when I go grocery shopping, and then we split that up with the kids. It's according to their age. They get 50 cents per year of their age per week. So our 5-year-old gets $2.50. And that's just money that the kids can practice with. They pay tithing on it, they save some of it, they spend some of it. It's really fun to see what they choose to spend it on and what they choose to save up for.
How they try to get their siblings to spend on something because they don't want to spend it themselves. Yeah.
It's fun to see their personalities. Homeschool, we didn't spend anything, and fun, we didn't spend anything. We still had fun, though.
All right, we're going to move to sinking funds now, starting with the medical dental fund. Now, sinking funds are funds where we put some money in every month, or nearly every month. Some of them are on hold. And we put it in there so that it's there when we have to take some out. And we're not always sure when we will have to take it out, but we know that at some point we will. So we put $400 a month, for example, into our medical dental fund because we know we'll have medical expenses during the year. And we don't know exactly what they'll be or when they'll be, but we're pretty sure we'll have some. We did pay $48 out. That was from a doctor's bill last year that finally showed up in the mail. I don't know why doctors take so long to send bills. I guess they have to get it through insurance and then figure out how much we owe. But this was from like 7 months ago and it finally got here. Car repair. We're not putting anything in right now. This is on hold because we've got almost $4,000 there and we aren't driving the cars very much and so don't have to repair them much. Christmas, we have a rule that we put $100 a month in every month for Christmas, and so our budget for Christmas is $1,200. And we put $100 in this month, and we've got a balance now of $162. We actually did a little bit of Christmas shopping early in the year.
Post-Christmas, yes. And that covers things like food and decorations and Christmas tree and not just gifts, but...
When we used to have Christmas parties, things like that. Yeah. All right, life insurance, we put $75 a month in, and it'll cover our premiums when they come due in November. Birthdays and gifts. In this category, we aren't putting any money in each month right now because we have very few gift-giving occasions. But we did have a family member who was married and sent them a gift. It was $28. So we have a balance of $183 there. The car registration and smog account, we're putting nothing in right now because we've got quite a bit in there. We did register one of the vehicles, like I said. That was $128. And we've got available in there $333, which will cover the next registration plus. So that's why it's on hold. The family fund is more interesting. We actually spent a whole bunch of money there. The $775 is swim team fees for the 3 oldest kids. So the kids were signed up last year for swim team, and we paid the $775, and then COVID hit, and there was no swim team. So they refunded that. And that's been sitting in the family fund ever since. Apparently we've spent $29 on fun since then because that's what we had to put in to make up the shortfall. So we spent $775, we've got a balance of $0, and 29 of those $775 we put in from this month's budget. If we look at the car fund, we see that we're not putting anything in there and the balance is very nearly $0. We had been saving up for a new commuter car for me when I stopped commuting because I've been working from home and will be for at least several more months. We decided to put that on hold. So we pulled the money out of there and used it for some other things, and we're not putting anything in there. We're just leaving it in the budget because at some point we may need to purchase another car. I doubt ours will last forever. We did put $200 into home projects and spent nothing. We seem to have projects that pop up here and there, and it's nice to have some cash waiting for when those come up so we don't have to scramble during that month. So that's what we put in the $200. We spent also a specific home project that's big enough to have its own category. For the garden and orchard, we put $1,000 into that category. We only spent $27, but we know that we're going to be spending more. I have to finish fencing the orchard, We're going to be doing some more work there, irrigation and things. So
we had a higher income in January, and so we wanted to take some of that money and put it aside for the garden while we had
some extra cash that we wouldn't normally have. In the preparedness category, we put $50. We didn't spend anything, so we've got a balance of $300. That's kind of a catch-all category for those things we might need for emergency preparedness.
Okay, investing. We put $25 per kid, well, at least for our 5 oldest kids, in a 529 college savings plan, which isn't very much at all, but it's something, and we've been doing it for quite a few years now, so it adds up.
The kids like to see how much is in there for their college. They don't really understand the actual costs of being away from home, but it's good for them to see that we're saving, and we figure we'll cover college somehow, and they'll cover college somehow.
Yeah, both of us went to college without any help like that, so this is more of a leg up than we got. My IRA, we put $500 a month, which maxes that out by the end of the year. Mike has money taken straight out of his check for his pension, so that's not reflected on here, but we're saving for retirement in that way for him.
Just one more note on the IRA. For those of you who are interested, this is a Roth IRA, so the money that's going into that has already been taxed, and when we pull it out, it won't be taxed. I know that's a question that we've had before. We get now to the tax section, so there are 3 pieces of this tax section. Tax planning is just what we pay our tax preparer and tax planner. We love having somebody to sit down with to try to minimize the amount that we're paying and kind of plan throughout the year about how to do that best. We also have a category there for self-employment tax, only we're not putting anything in it because my withholdings from work are adequate to cover any of our self-employment income as well. And then we have the prepaid tithing category. This is, we talked about it a couple of months ago, but where we paid at the end of last year all of this year's expected donations for tithing and fast offerings so that we could kind of bundle our deductions into one year. We're taking itemized deductions for 2020, and in 2021, we expect to just take the standard deduction. So we'll be able to maximize the amount of deduction that we have by bundling some of them into one year and then taking the standard deduction the next year.
It ended up saving us
just
$2,000?
About $3,000 over the 2 years, so about $1,500 a year in taxes.
Okay, mortgage extra. This is our big goal that we're working toward. We had some money set aside from the last couple of months that we were waiting to pay toward the mortgage as soon as our refi went through and got set up. And so we paid about $7,000 toward the mortgage. We have a little bit, well, $3,400. That's not a little bit. We have a big chunk still sitting here that we haven't put toward the mortgage. We're kind of torn right now. We're toying with the idea of putting in solar. I know we talked about this way back before as we were setting this goal to pay off our mortgage, that solar wasn't that exciting, but now we've got some reasons why we might really want to do it now rather than wait till after the house is paid off. And so we're just kind of letting that sit there for a minute while we figure all of that out. So our current balance on our mortgage is $262,745. And back when we set our goal to pay off our mortgage, we were at $363,000. So we've paid off a little bit more than $100,000 in the last 2 years.
That doesn't put us on track to actually finish paying it off in 5 years, which was our goal. To pay it off in 5 years, it would take about $5,700. And we haven't been doing that each month. So we're trying to decide right now whether we want to buckle down and focus on that, or whether we're really interested in letting that goal date slide, setting a new date for that, and putting solar panels in the meantime.
Okay, so that's a little update on that goal. Let me get up to the top here and show you our income. Okay, and in February, this is what we earned. This includes Mike's work at the state, this includes blog income, and this includes $1,000 of it is from our renter. And this money right here, we just subtracted out, zeroed out this category, and sent all that money into March's budget. So we'll spend that in March, come back next month, and you can see what we did with that. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments. Okay, see you next time.
Bye-bye.